Hello dear students, I wish that you're all doing well. So today we're going to see a new lesson, which is lesson 5, the present perfect versus the present simple in information and communication technology context. The objective of this course is to help you understand the differences between the present perfect and present simple tenses, their usage in information and communication technology contexts, and how to correctly apply them in technical writing and communication. That is to say, this lesson helps you better to use the present simple and present perfect in either technical writing, that is to say in your future writing, either for scientific articles or other learning projects, or as well in oral communication in your context. As usual, we start with a text which is related to the field. Over the past year, the company has installed new servers to improve performance. The team has also upgraded the software to the latest version. Employees often use video conferencing tools like Zoom for daily meetings. However, the company still relies on emails for official communication. So try to identify the verbs in this text, okay? Let's move now to the theory. First, we start with understanding the present simple and present perfect. Both present simple and present perfect tenses are commonly used in ICT communication, but they serve different purposes. That is to say, they are used for different purposes, or they have different usage. Let's start with the present simple. Let's see first its usage. It is used for facts and general truths, that is to say for some things which are always true. It is used as well to express or to describe your routines and habitual actions, that is to say to speak about actions which are repeated on a regular manner, that is to say which are routines. And last, it's used for describing fixed schedules or permanent situations. Here we are talking about actions which are constantly repeated. Let's see the form. How is the present simple formulated? As you know, which is very simple. We use the subject, the base verb, we add an s for the third person of singular, that is to say he, she, or it. Now let's see the present perfect. It is used to describe actions that happened at an unspecified time before now. Here we are talking about actions which has started in the past, but we don't know exactly when, so the time is not specified in the past. 2. It is used to describe actions that started in the past and continue into the present. Here we are talking about actions that have already started in the past, but which are not completed or finished actions, that they are still continuing in the present. And it is used to speak about experiences or changes over the time. When we say experience, it is something that happens occasionally. For example, in the general context, we can say that I have visited Spain. This is an experience, which is something that not happen on a regular manner, which is not a routine. And last, it is used to describe recent past actions with relevance to the present. When we say relevance to the present, that is to say actions that have started in the past are still continuous in the present or still have effects on the present. Okay? Now let's see how is it formed. For the present perfect, we use the verb to have in the present, that is to say to have or has with the third person of singular, he, she, or it, plus the past participle. What do we mean by the past participle of the verb? For regular verbs, it is the verb plus ed, and for irregular verbs, it is, you can find it in the third column of the English irregular verbs. Now let's see the structure of present simple. It has three types of sentences. We can find affirmative sentence, negative sentence, or a question. For the affirmative form, you can use the subject plus the base verb, that is to say the verb into the infinitive form, plus an s if it is a third person of singular. For example, he uses the software daily. The system processes data efficiently. For the negative form, here it's different. We use the subject plus the verb to do, not or does not with the third person of singular, plus the base verb, that is to say the verb into the infinitive form. So let's see some examples of questions in the present simple. Does this program support cloud storage? The second example. Do employees rely on video calls for communication? So make sure that these questions starting with the verb to do are yes or no questions. That is to say, the answer of this question is yes or no. And now let's see examples concerning the different usage of present simple. For example, for describing facts and general truths, we can say that the internet connects millions of devices worldwide, which is something true. A router directs data between networks, which is a truth or a fact. Second, describing routines or actions which are repeated on a regular manner. We can say that the information technology team checks systems updates every morning. You can see that this is a repetitive or a routine action. Users log into their accounts daily. This is a routine too. Now let's talk about schedules and permanent situations, actions which are repeated in a constant manner. The company provides technical support 24/7. Another example, the system updates automatically every week. Now let's move to the present perfect in ICT context. Let's see first its structure. For the affirmative sentences structure, we use the subject plus the verb to have in the present simple, that is to say, to have with all the persons, and has with the third person of singular, he, she, or it, plus the past participle, which is the verb plus ed for regular verbs, and the past participle of irregular verbs, which is on the list of irregular verbs that I have already mentioned earlier. For the negative form, we just add not after the verb to have. That is to say, has not or have not plus the past participle. Concerning how to formulate a question into the present perfect, we start with the verb to have or has with the third person of singular plus the subject plus the past participle. Let's see examples in the affirmative form. We can say the IT team has upgraded the servers. You see, the verb to upgrade is a regular verb, so the past participle is to upgrade plus ed. She has installed the latest security patch. The verb to install is as well a regular verb. We added an ed to have the past participle. Now let's see examples in the negative form. The company has not switched to cloud storage yet. You see, we have used yet. Users have not reported any major issues. For questions, have you tested the new software? Has the system encountered any failures? So, when do we use the present perfect in the ICT context? First, to describe past actions with present relevance. For example, the company has improved its cybersecurity measures. Where is the present relevance? The present relevance in this sentence is that the cybersecurity measures are still improved in the present. Developers have fixed several bugs in the application. You see, here the actions have started in the past but has effects in the present. That is to say, relevance in the present. Number two, to talk about experiences without specifying when. When we say when, that is to say when in the past. First, I have worked on multiple AI projects. They have used various cloud platforms before. These are experiences in the past without specifying the exact time in the past. 3. To describe changes over the time. The IT industry has evolved significantly in the last decade. Software security has become a top priority for developers. And last, it is used to talk about recently completed actions, using often with just, already, and yet. I have just installed the latest update. The system has already detected the malware. Have you configured the network yet? So you see that we are speaking about the recent past. Okay? Now let's see and discover together what are the key differences between the present simple and the present perfect. They are different in various aspects. For example, the first aspect, which is the time focus. The present simple speaks or describes current and habitual actions. However, the present perfect describe connections between the past and present. The specificity of time. Uh, for the present simple, we use time expressions like, for example, every day, always, often, or frequency expressions like, for example, always, often, occasionally, rarely, and so. However, with the present perfect, we use expressions like recently, already, ever, yet, or just. Talking about the action type, the present simple describes facts, routines, or permanent situations. However, the present perfect describes experiences, changes, and actions affecting the present. Let's see an example for each. In the present simple, we can say the team updates the software regularly. In the present perfect, we say the team has updated the software recently. Here there are extra examples, you can read them later. To summarize everything, the present simple is used to speak about general facts, routines and habits, and fixed schedules. However, the present perfect is used to describe actions with present relevance, experiences, changes over the time, and recently completed actions. So, understanding when to use the present perfect versus the present simple is essential for effective ICT communication, whether for writing manuals, reports, or troubleshooting. If you have any questions or you face any ambiguities, you can post them as a comment. For better understanding, here are some activities that you have to complete. In the first activity, you have to identify the tense of verbs in this following text. I have already underlined the verbs, so you just have to identify the tense. In the second activity, you have to fill in the blanks with the correct tense. That is to say, in the first sentence, you have to use the verb to upgrade in the present perfect, and in the second sentence, try to put the verb to use in the present simple. Okay, for activity 3, write 2 sentences or more using these time markers, already and every day, but you have to use the correct tense with each of them. And for the last activity, you have to check the error and correct it. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next lesson.